Hi everybody, this is Tool Tony. Thank you for joining me today. I'm going to show you how to replace these old style 2 or 3 prong outlets with a GFCI outlet. Sometime in the last few years, the government has changed their national electrical code, and they're requiring the use of these kinds of outlets in and around your sink area, in your bathrooms, in your kitchens, also in your basements. If you live in a house built in the 50s and you have the regular 2-prong outlets, yeah, it's not good enough just to replace your 2-prong outlet with a 3-prong outlet and leave it ungrounded. Yeah, this isn't adequate anymore in most installations. They're requiring one of these. The difference with this is it has the capability to stop an electrical current if the current is flowing where it's not supposed to. This is the outlet we're going to change out today. Before we change it out, I want to check and see just how it's wired, see if it's wired correctly before we get started here. This is a circuit testing device. It'll tell you, based on the lights on the bottom here, just how your circuit is wired. It says if you have the 2 lights to the right, then it's wired correctly. Anything else is probably substandard. Alright, so let's plug it in and see what we get here. And we get the 2 lights, which indicates that this circuit is wired correctly. Another tool that you can use to validate that you really do have current flowing or turned off is one of these volt sensing kind of tools. Depress the button to turn it on. You can see it's going off clear back here. So there's definitely electricity flowing here. You just have to get it close and it goes off. Now the thing you absolutely must do without exception when you're working on electricity, when you're working with the outlets, when you're changing lights or hanging a ceiling fan or any of that kind of stuff, is you need to turn off the power to it. You need to identify which breaker is controlling the circuit that your electric device, your outlet, your ceiling fan, whatever it is located on, and turn it off. The easiest thing that I have found when you're working by yourself to identify which is the correct circuit and breaker then to flip is to plug a radio into that circuit, turn it up so you can hear it from the breaker panel, and then just listen as you start flipping off breakers. It's tunes, 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 no tunes. Hey, that must be it. Okay, that's how you can tell. That easy. Whatever you get out of this video, make sure you turn off your breaker or remove the fuse from whatever circuit you're working on. You repeat after me, say your name. I, Tool Tony, will turn off the breaker every time I'm going to be dicking with my electricity. Okay, so through my radio test, I've determined that is this one labeled disposal, and this other one down here labeled dishwasher. Now that you've identified which circuit your outlet is on, you need to go buy the right kind of outlet for it. You've got to get the right one. It's illegal and it's unsafe if you mix and match these. So if you've got a 20 amp breaker down here, you need to have a 20 amp outlet. If you have a 15 amp, you need a 15 amp outlet. No way around it, guys. Don't change it out. Don't mess it up. Get the right one. Now we can see the power is definitely off according to that indicator. When I try this other volt detector, it's also, it does that blinking every once in a while, but that's doesn't mean it's actually on. So this is definitely dead. There's no power going to do this. First, we're going to remove this screw that holds the outlet cover on. You may have 2 screws depending upon the style of your outlet. Now we'll remove the screws that hold the outlet in place. Pull it out, see how much wire you have back here to work with and how it's hooked up. I'm going to try it and unscrew this. Sometimes these are wired a little bit differently and you may have to try different things to release the wire. But with this one, I should be able to loosen that screw and then pull it out. Okay. Do the same thing with the black one. Pull it out. Alright, this one is really stuck in here. I can't pull it out. So I'm going to go with plan B, which is to use some wire cutters and just simply cut the wire. We'll have to strip it here in a minute. And then the last thing we need to do to remove this is to release the ground wire. This one's typically wrapped around the screw, so I like to use a pair of needle nose pliers. These are bent needle nose, but any pliers will work. When you install these, you want to make sure that you orient them properly within the outlet. You don't want them upside down. The proper way to install it is with the two slots going up and the little ground thing at the bottom for each outlet. Doing it like this would be wrong. Okay. Also, something else to note, you've got silver screw on the left side and a brass screw on the right side. So remember that the black side always goes on the brass. The white side, white and silver are kind of the same, so always do the white on the silver, and then the ground will connect down here on the green. Now if you were able to remove your wire and you have a nice little tail coming out that's fairly straight like that, you're in good shape. If you had to pull it and untwist it from around the screw, you may have to straighten it out. This one's a little crooked, a little not straight, not as straight as I would like it, so I just straightened it out with my pliers. Now this is the other one where I had to cut it, which you may have to do too. I've got a wire stripper here, so put it in the 14mm slot. I'm going to go about a 1/2 inch or whatever that is, 7 or 8 millimeters for you European guys or metrics guys. Yeah, that's I didn't strip it off far enough. I need a little more space to be able to shove it in there. And this also looks like this is a thicker gauge wire. This is not 14. This looks like 12 gauge. Okay, so for this particular outlet, our ground wire also needs to be straight. Curved won't do, so I'm going to go ahead and straighten this out. Or I could cut it off, but I really don't want to cut it off if I don't have to. Straighten it out as best possible. Now, on these new outlets, I wanted to show you this. They're a little bit different than the old outlet. Instead of shoving the wire into a piece of plastic, you actually shove it right next to the body itself and behind this little metal plate here. I don't know if you can see that, it moves back and forth. We'll put the wire in there and then tighten this down, and that's all we need to do it. Okay, so I'm going to take my ground wire from the back. Follow this sort of a channel on the back of the outlet. Can you see that there? Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and tighten this. Okay, now we'll want to do something similar. We'll just grab the black because it's here. I'm going to put it in, again, make sure it goes behind, this little metal plate. Shove it all the way in, kind of holding it there with my thumb to make sure it's in. I'll tighten the screw up. I'll move this outlet around. Do the same thing, make sure the wire goes behind this little brass plate. And again, tighten your screw. I'm going to run some black electrical tape around the outside to cover up those screws, making sure not to go over the screw at the end. I want to go under that. And around, twice around is plenty. Okay, with that around there, you're pretty much good to go. Putting it back in, just be sure you try to do it in such a way that you don't mess up the tape. It's going to be a tight fit. Okay, and once you got it to the point where you can put the screw back in again, align the screw with the hole and tighten it. Now, your old outlet cover won't work. So hopefully, when you bought your outlets, you also purchased a new outlet cover. Basically just sits on here, and again, just like the outlet cover on the old one, these are straight bladed screwdrivers, and you just screw them in. Okay, now that I'm done with the wiring, I'm going to go ahead and turn this breaker back on. Retest. Shows we definitely have current going to the outlet, and the outlet is dead. Why is that? It's because this is an outlet that has a test button and a reset button. When you first put these in, you have to push that reset button to get the current to flow. Try it. 2 lights on the right. That's correct. Check the bottom one. It's correct. You'll also see, at least on this one, there's a little green light down here. It indicates that there is power going to this outlet. If you replaced a 2-wire outlet with one of these GFCI circuits, you're required by law to put the right labels on that outlet cover. That's how you change an outlet. So, hey, thank you for watching. I hope you got something out of this and you'll save some money yourself by installing your own GFCI outlets. So go ahead and give us a try. Leave some comments, subscribe to my channel. Let me know what you think. And thank you very much for watching. So, as I always say, if you're not fixing it yourself, you're paying somebody else to fix it. So get out there and fix something. Toodaloo. Out of here. Show you how to replace a regular 2 or 3 pronged with one of these brand new GFI, GFCI, or RDC, or tamper-proof RFI, GFC, alphabet soup outlets. These new kind of GFI, GFCI, or ground. Okay, I'm going to start over again because I'm not sure what I'm saying here. And tamper-proof RDC, GFI, GFCI circuit. Wow, that's wordy. And here's my phone. Okay, so so this. Okay, so now in the middle of the video, I'm telling you what to do before you actually get started. Repeat after me. I will turn off my breaker before I work on my electricity. Okay, so now you know which breaker the circuit is on. Hope that makes sense. If not, leave a comment and I'll ignore it. Probably. But somebody else will answer.